Hey up, welcome back. Today we're gonna do another build video. It's the 8th of February, so that means Valentine's Day is coming up. So I'm gonna make my wife a nice steel rose. I made her a big 3-foot vase a few years ago with some steel flowers in, but there's not many flowers in it, so I'm going to make another one just to fill it out a little bit better, and I thought you might like to see how it's done. The way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to cut some plate that I've got over here. I'm going to use plasma cutter, cut that out. Now this particular way, if you wanted to try it, you could actually do it just using an empty pop can or something like that. You know, if you just wanted to have a little bit of fidget about, just cut a can up with a pair of scissors. You can pretty much do the same thing with any sheet steel. So yeah, we'll get set up. I'll show you exactly how to go about doing it. Right, what we need to do is we need to cut out 4 circles. Now this particular, I'm going to make it quite a big rose. Well, it's a big vase, so they are fairly big flowers what I'm making for it. So we're going to start off, set this to 2-inch, so it gives us a nice 4-inch diameter. Right, that'll do. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to step it up 1/4 of an inch on each one. So the next one I'm going to do 2 1/4, which will make a 4 1/2. So I'll just trying to use up most of the plate. Right, what I'll do, just give that a little pop, and then it's not going to slide out. Then add another 1/4 of an inch to. It's always best to get a little pop, because then it's not going to slide off when you're marking it. And then we'll do one more, another 1/4 of an inch. Right, now we've done that, what I want to do is I want to make a little circle in the middle. Probably set that to, we'll go to 5/8. This is going to be the centre bit, so we know where to cut the petals up to. Right, now that that's done, I want to go over it with chalk so I can see it better when I'm plasma cutting it out. What we need to do is draw out where the petals are going to be. So that's roughly what it's going to be like, and then we're going to just cut each corner off as we're going. You get the idea. So now we'll get cutting it up. I'll just mark the rest of these off. Right. Now that that's done, we'll get the plasma cutter. We'll give them all a cut out. Now, I just want to point out, you don't need a plasma cutter to do this. This is slightly thicker than what most people would use. So I'll just bring you can use tin snips if you get thinner material. They work well. Or if you've got one of these, you can use one of these as well. But obviously I've got this little plasma cutter, so that's what I'm going to be using. Right, so let's get these cut out and I'll show you at next stage. Right, sorry about the noise with compressor, but that's pretty much what we're aiming for, and then just needs a little bit of clean up. Obviously if you can use your tin snips, you don't need as much cleaning up, but I will be forging these petals out a little bit. I'll show you that in next step. So I'll just put a quick time lapse on while I finish burning these out. Right, now what we need to do is make the like little leafy bits that sit underneath the rose, you know, as it comes out. So what I normally do is, if we do that for centre, and then something like that, we'll just quickly burn that out. Right, so now that's all as pieces, so that goes on bottom, then the next biggest one, and that, and that, and that. So what we need to do now is get some shape to these leaves, and then you know, we'll get them out, we'll bash them on anvil a little bit, put a bit of texture to them, a bit of shape, but first I'm just going to give them a quick clean up, so we'll crack on with that now. Right, now what we're going to do, we're going to get a little gas forge on. We're going to add some texture to each one of these. I'm going to use this end with this hammer it's a bit small. Ideally I could have done with a bigger one, but I haven't got one, so you have to make do with what you've got. That's another tool added to the to buy list. So we'll get this lit, we'll add some texture to these. Right, so case of texture in it, each leaf like that. Right, if it'll ever focus. There we go. What I'll do, I'll put you on a time lapse and finish all these leaves. Right, this is the last petal now. Right, now what we need to do is this section. So we're going to rough it up a little bit, and then I'm going to get it over on a corner, try and roll each one of these up a little bit. I'm going to curl that up a little bit now. I just need to get them all like that, so I'll just put it back on a quick time lapse again. Right, so that's that section done now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give them all a good wire brush up now. Now, because this is the main outside one, I've textured all the way down each petal. With these other ones, because these are on inside, you only really need to texture ends at petals, so it does save a bit of work. So next, what we need to do is get some round bar, which is going to be the stalk, and we'll texture that up a little bit. Right, I'm actually running out of stock, so this, it's not long enough for what I need, because the vase that it's going in stands 3 foot high, so the vase itself is this high, or thereabouts that high, so I'm going to need about 40 inches for it to stick out plenty enough. But same again, we only need to texture a section of it, so I've got some other 8mm which I'll just weld onto end just to get length up. You'll not see it anyway. And then this section will go on here like that, and then I'm going to texture all this bar on here, make it so it's not perfectly round, because it just look crap if it's like that. So I'm going to add a bit of texture to that now, and I'll do a little setting, forge a little pip out of this end, and then I can drill an hole in everything, sit it on the little pip and rivet it up, which will hold it all together. Right, what that does, I can puts a nice little shoulder in it. So this end bit now, I just need to draw that out. Now I haven't really got a sharp point on this anvil anywhere, so it makes it a bit awkward. Got this, I'm going to try and see if I can get that square edge using this. Doing it square because it forges it down quicker when you're doing it square. So you do it square and then take your corners off. Right. So now I need to drill an hole big enough for that to slot through in each one of them, and then we can rivet it up. But first I need to put some texture on it. So we'll do that now by getting a good section up. Just basically beat the crap out of it peck on. Bollocks. My pip just fell off. I'll not make you watch me do that again though. I'll just finish what I'm doing and then I'll put another pip on it. See, there's no real technique to what I'm doing here. You just have to hit it, make it look more like a branch rather than a bar of steel. Right, so got that done again. Right, now all these are cleaned up, what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to drill through them all. There we go. So we'll go over to the vise now. We'll start assembling it all. Right, now what we do, got it in vise. Start off, put this one on first. Then the next biggest one. Make sure that your textured parts goes down, because when you fold them back up, that's when you're going to see them. And just same again, next biggest all the way down to the smallest ones. Make sure that you put it with textured side down. What I like to do then is I'll get a socket and I'll just give them a few taps just to make sure everything's down and flat. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my heater, I'm going to warm this up, this little pip. I'm just going to rivet it, so basically whack it, splat it down with hammer. So I'll do that next. Right, so I've just trimmed this down a little bit. I think it were a little bit too long, so we've got about 1/4 of an inch, maybe 3/8 sticking out of there. And what I've done is these petals, the gaps, so there's a gap on the first one here, so I've lined it up with centre of that, and so on and so on. So it's try to line the gaps up, the next gap on the centre of the next petal, sort of thing. That's nicely riveted up now. So what we need to do now is just slowly, gradually heat each petal up using some pliers and just bend them all into shape now. What I'll do is I'll show you with this first one, and I'll go on a time lapse for others. Doesn't need a lot of heat. And what we're going to do is we're just going to curl the edges of it a little bit. Add a little bit shape to it. Right, so that's pretty much done. I just need to fettle it up a little bit. So I'll put you on time lapse for resting it. Right, that is pretty much it. So there we have. Right, there we have it then. I've welded a little bit extra length on. Should be long enough to fit in the vase. Like I said, I'll show you what it looks like in the vase as well. But yeah, nice little project. Like I say, you can make them. You could make one out of a beer can or anything really. You know what I mean? It's a simple thing to do. It does take a little bit of time with heater getting all these petals right, but I think they look really nice when they're done. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, you can subscribe here or check out some of my other videos here. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.